Hello, and welcome to the Lucy Liu Show, the fueling station for your mind, business, and life. And now, here's your host, Lucy Liu.
Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you for tuning in for another episode. A lot of times, there's more to business outcomes than marketing and strategy. In times when something's not working or when we aren't feeling clear, we often don't need marketing strategy or business advice. Sometimes you don't need to hire a business coach yet. You need to work with a life coach because what we need is to look inside ourselves and ask, what's really going on the deeper level, right? What's going on with your energy? Is your mindset in place? Are your time management skills brushed up? Even though you know better, why aren't you doing it? We've got to remove those limiting blocks. This is why I invited my guest today, Therese Skelly, who works with women business owners by working on their level of energy and emotion. She's a former psychotherapist and marketing consultant who now mentors women to step up into the deeper self to improve their businesses. She gives us real life examples of times when women realized their business challenge was actually rooted in their energetic issues. Let's hear it. Thank you so much for being here on the show with us today.
I'm delighted. Thank you for having me. I'm excited for our conversation today.
Absolutely. So I love what you do for women, and I'm totally in resonation with you for wanting to grow your business, but growing yourself first. I love that. Can you talk more about how as entrepreneurs, we unconsciously or consciously, we're always focusing on growing our business. However, halfway into what we do, sometimes we got to play it bigger and grow ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I feel like you can't take your life out of your business. I mean, I know you are a mom, and if your child gets sick, you can't just go, well, I'm sorry, I got to work now. Like it's everything is part of it. And especially if you're a service-based business owner, it's one thing if you work for a company or you're selling something that's like a commodity, but when you sell you, ooh, Lucy, like it's like your what I call your gremlins, your limiting beliefs. Like you talk like stepping up, serving higher. It's like we're comfortable to this level, but then if we're going to raise here, that's where the unconscious parts kick in, and our old fears, our doubts, our lack, our limitations come. And very often we don't even know what it is. And so our tendency is we go, oh, I need better web copy, and oh, I should get more Twitter followers. Or like we want to go outside first, and that's all necessary. But very often, if you're not addressing your foundation, like the core of who you are, none of that strategy is going to work anyway, or it's going to take a really long time.
Mm-hmm. Can you give us some real life examples of women you've worked with in the past who may have experienced some energetic or emotional issues that affected their business?
Oh, there's so many. So, I'll give you two. One of them, just like I spoke, she had spent $30,000 and she paid for a copywriter. She got a whole new website design. She got a whole, brand new photography, and she hired a top mentor. That investment was $30,000. And after 6 months, she came to me and said, forgot to work on my mindset. So none of this is working. Because what happened is, like, she upgraded the package of her, but she actually had massive visibility issues. She had like so much stuff unconsciously that held her back from like stepping into that next version of herself. So she couldn't sell anything. Another client I worked with, now I'm a little woo-woo. I don't know if your people are a little esoteric or woo-woo, but we're going there. Very often I'm intuitive, and I can pick up like where the blocks are. And so I have a lot of women, it's very strange. I've had people where, for example, their mother might have almost died in childbirth, or when the mother was pregnant, the father didn't want the baby. And so these women come to me and they're like, I don't know why I can't sell myself. I'm having such a hard time with my marketing. And when I can like go back to the origination of that, it's like, well, if you weren't wanted at birth and you almost killed your mother, it's pretty hard to step up and say, hey, pick me. You know what I mean? Because when you sell and market yourself, you have to be really bold. You have to kind of like own yourself and be public about it and own it and have confidence. And when you have trauma that that literally happened before you were born, it's still living in your body and it's still affecting you. But Lucy, most people don't think this way. They're just trying to get more Twitter followers, right? And so sometimes it's like we look for the wrong things to fix when it really is an inside reason.
Yes. So these root issues are really deep. How long do you think, if it's something deeply rooted, how long would you say it would take for them to really transform out of that version of them?
It depends who you ask. So I don't know if you know this, but I was a psychotherapist for lots and lots and lots and lots of years. And so I used to use therapy tools. And when you're just talking about something, it really helps with context. But what I now know, because I do a lot of healing work and I do energy work, it's beyond what your brain says. It's beyond that. It's actually energy living in you, energy trapped. Sometimes we even take on our ancestral traumas. You know, I'm Irish and my people had the potato famine. There was a lot of suffering and struggling. And so there's so much that we take on. So if you go to a therapist, it could take you years and years and years. If you work with somebody that is working in the energy field with the tools that we all have, so there's two parts. I can get you cleared really quickly. I could literally pick up my pendulum. I could clear you like that. But then the next piece is you have to embody the new version of yourself, right? Because most of it's like our set point is here. And then when it can get you clear, okay, boom, now you can be more visible. Boom, you can make more money. It's like our brains are still wired for like, wait, hold on, I'm just over here. And so it's a little bit longer. So it's different for everybody. Sometimes I do a session and people have a massive breakthrough, then they can take action. Sometimes it takes a few months because the embodiment part of it and getting like, oh, okay, well, if I'm this person now, what actions do I take? You know what I mean? So it's kind of integrating the new. So I'm pretty fast. So a few months, maybe. It's not like you're looking at years of therapy or laying on the couch like the old Woody Allen movies, right?
Mm-hmm. So for the client on their side, what are some of the simple ways that they can do to keep their emotions bright and having that more positive energy aligned with the business that they want to deliver?
Great question. So first you have to notice, right? Because I think sometimes we can just get sidetracked and I call it collapse. And what I mean by that is very often like you let's say you're going to launch something or you're marketing something new and you put out all your marketing materials and then like nothing happens. And it's really easy to like get into fear and doubt. When I say collapse, it's like, oh, it's not going to work. I'm a failure. Oh my gosh. And then you just start spinning around. So if you notice that, the first step is awareness, like, whoa, okay. And there's another one. This is one of my easiest tools. So I'm surprised we don't hear her, but I have a dog. And if somebody walks on the street, Finley is going to start barking, right? Because she is wired to alert me, somebody's on the street, right? And so what happens is, if you understand that your brain is not your friend, literally your brain from the cave days is wired to keep you safe. And so your brain's job is to go, that could happen, watch out for that, that could go wrong, oh, you're in danger, 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 danger. But most of us don't know that. And so we hear those voices and we're like, oh my gosh, what do I got to do? And we pretend that that's real as opposed to going, oh, isn't that adorable? And here's what I say to my students. Imagine your favorite dog. It could be a pit bull or a chihuahua or whatever your cute little dog is. And those voices like, it's going to fail. Nobody's going to hire you. Who do you think you are? Tony Robbins already said this. This has been done. Whatever the thought, those monkey mind voices. Imagine that it's a cute little dog barking. And you just go, oh, shh, you're so adorable. Oh, you're so cute. Go lay down. Go lay down. And so you distance from the thoughts because most of us don't have that technique. So we just collapse, but you can distance. Another one, Lucy, is if you're feeling something, like I just got off the phone with a client and she was telling me some beliefs about herself. And I kind of like have this like, huh? That's not who you are. And I can intuit it, but it was really, she was carrying the family belief. And so you can literally ask yourself, is this mine or is this somebody else's? And that's super. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's my sister's. Like, oh my God. And I said, okay, so send it back. And that seems so simple, but you can kind of differentiate. Wait, that might not even be my belief. It's kind of like I just walked into something. I got slimed with this icky energy. Give it back. So there's a couple really quick things people can do.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for the tips. And once you have that self-awareness, it must be eye-opening because we're opening that new door for ourselves. But sometimes what I hear a lot is people are like, I know better, but I'm not doing it. Do you hear that?
Oh, I'm totally laughing because I was a therapist for 25 years and I've been doing healing for all these years. And sometimes I cannot coach myself out of a paper bag, right? And so,
Right.
so two things. Here's what I say. So there's a continuum, right? So if let's just say 1 to 3. So one is like, I'm so good, I'm happy and grateful. And then 10 is like, I just want to crawl under my bed and knock it out. I feel like crap, right? So what I mean by that is the negative self-talk, the fear, the doubt, like, so if you're like 0 to 3, you can probably do things like say affirmations. You can, a lot of people like the law of attraction, change your vibration, go to the next positive thought. You can do stuff to shift your thinking or your consciousness. But I feel like if it's getting to, 4, 5, 6, it's now what I call in your physiology. And that means it doesn't matter what it's like almost you can't talk yourself out of it, right? So tools like EFT, the tapping therapy, stuff like the energy therapies, that is what you need. Because sometimes, even me, like as much as I know this, sometimes I can't get myself out of it. And sometimes it's just like calling somebody, getting a girlfriend or a coach or somebody, just like, hey, I really need your help because I'm spinning around here, right? So understand you can't do it alone very often, but you have to like, don't stay there. That's the thing. You want to shift your state. Sometimes I was in a funky mood earlier today. I took Pilates and I'm like, all is well in my world. Like move your body, go for a run, take a hot shower, get a massage, do something to shift. Tony Robbins says, if you want to change your psychology, change your physiology. And so that's another way to like get yourself out of it. But you've got to commit. Like, why would you want to suffer, right? Get out of it. Use your skills to get out of it.
I love that. I love everything you just said, because when we don't get help, we're just stuck in this negative spiral and we're just spinning at the same spot, and it's never ending. And the spiral just goes deeper and darker, and it all goes downhill from there. So it's really important that you ask for help. And I think I talked about this in a previous episode as well. So what's the most important thing you've learned in your life throughout your journey as a psychotherapist and transformational coach?
Oh, that's such a big question. I think the first one earlier on in my life, I had trouble with infertility for years. And it was that I couldn't do it all by myself because I was raised, like I had difficult upbringing. And so I was like, I'll fix it. I'll make it work, and when you have infertility, it takes you to your knees. Like it's just like, wow, something I can't make happen, right? And in that period, I really had to start getting really vulnerable, and I ended up reaching out. I let a lot more support in. So one of the best lessons I have lived in my whole life is you must get support. You must receive more. Particularly women. Women are so great at loving other women. Like, we are so blessed. Like, I think it'd be harder to be a man, but I literally can call my girlfriends and go, tell me I'm going to be okay, or whatever it is. And so that's a massive lesson of like, you don't have to do it by yourself. And the second one is, you don't have to be perfect. That was a huge one for me. Like, oh my gosh, I was so afraid. And now it's really nice because I'm super authentic. I'm just very transparent, and it's so easy. I don't have to try to pretend that I'm something, or I don't have to put on this persona, and I can just be like, here's who I am. And it's so much easier. Took a few years, took lots of years and a few wrinkles to get there. But that's one of the gifts of age and wisdom, I guess, is that who I am is fine. And that's a really lovely place to be.
Absolutely. I feel so much better in nowadays than where I was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So age, wisdom, phew. I thought I was going to die when I get to 30s, I dreaded being 30, but now I'm so looking forward to being 60 because
I'm 60. I can tell you it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
you look so young and beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Yes.
So as you progress in business, there's always times that you want to level yourself up in sales and marketing, visibility, money, all areas of our business, right? And we all see these as problems in our life. But according to you, there's actually always another culprit behind these things. Can you talk more about that?
Oh my gosh. It's all of it. Let's just take sales. Right. A lot of us, I think, particularly women, and I don't know for, culturally for you, there's religion, there's culture, there's gender, there's so many things that we have literally we're swimming in this stream. Now today it's better, there's more freedom, but I was raised with June Cleaver. I was raised with the 60s family where the moms didn't work. There was no role model. There was no permission given. And there was never talk of like money, asking for money. It was like women were to serve the family. That was very much the archetype and the cultural thing that I was raised with. And so when I started trying to sell myself, I could give it away. I could do a whole bunch of free sessions happily, great. But then when it came time to ask, it was like, I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to put them out. Oh my gosh, how dare, and what was stunning for me, Lucy, is that I had been a therapist. I'm like, I should know better. Like I said, when you are up for sale as a service-based business owner, and when it's your back, and you don't have a boss that you can pass it off to, or, you're at the buck stops with you, those unconscious things just, especially selling, especially for women asking for money. And especially if you ask for a higher price, it's one thing to it's $100, but you're like, no, that'll be $1,000. It takes a while, because I think there's a pattern of not owning our value. We really devalue ourselves. Again, it's a gender thing, and maybe for you cultural. I've worked with Asians, and it's a different cultural experience. I can't speak to it, but you could talk about it as well. But sometimes you're raised don't be bragging about yourself, or don't put yourself out there, or don't say that. You can't. You know what I mean? And so I think it's harder for women to really step up and just say, no, yeah, you'll pay me. I'm that good. You should. I think men get more permission to do that. So.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that is a problem for women across all cultures, that we don't show up for ourselves enough. Mm-hmm. We don't stand firmly on our feet, and we don't want to brag about ourselves when in fact it's not bragging, because it's the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are good at what we are doing, and we really need to step up and show up.
Well, I was raised with my Irish grandma. Used to always say, "Oh, don't be putting on airs," and that means you don't talk, you don't boast. So it's either family or other stuff. But if you think about it, imagine this is a lighthouse. Lighthouse just shines. It doesn't turn off. It doesn't be like, oh, that other lighthouse is going to be upset with me. It doesn't run down the beach chasing the boats. It just stands there and shines. So the people for whom the light is needed, look at that metaphor, right? So are you being the lighthouse? Are you standing there bold? Because you're right. It's not for you. It's not for us. If we have hearts to serve, we're standing boldly so we can help the people we're supposed to help, right? But you're not going to help people if you're like, I'm sorry, I don't want to say that. I shouldn't, you know what I mean? And as I've gotten older, it's been really cool, because I've gotten shameless. I can just go, yeah, I'm a ninja. I'm super good. You should hire me. And I'm okay to do that. But years ago, I couldn't. I used to, it's so funny. I used to apologize that I was only a therapist. And people would be like, I would hire you because you used to be a therapist. And I'm like, but I didn't go to business school. I had this chip on my shoulder. I had this, I'm not enough because. And I think a lot of us come into it, I'm not enough because I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I don't have the right credentials or degrees, or blah, 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 blah. And we focus on what we don't have instead of what we do have, what we've overcome, who we are, the magic that we have. We focus on all the wrong things.
Absolutely. I am so sure a lot of women will resonate exactly with what you just said. So when you are in need yourself for a mindset reset, what do you do?
I'm really blessed because I have amazing women in my life. I really do. So there's two kinds of mindset resets, right? One is I pick up the phone and call my girls, and I'm like, either I need a clearing or I need to run something by you. I'm so blessed with the people I have in my life. So there's three. The other one is I just get a massage or hike, get in nature, get out of here. Move my body. And then the third one is I hang out with my sexy boyfriend, and we might go for a motorcycle ride, or we might whatever, but just in the old days, I used to work on the weekends, and I would be I got to do this. And now I'm like, no, I need to fill up with joy. I need to be loved up. I need to be so it's literally like refueling. And so I kind of stop work on Fridays, and then I come back on Mondays because I'm getting filled. And so there's different ways, right? So mind, body, spirit, I feel in different ways. And I think there's not a one size fits all, but it's imperative that you do feel. It's imperative that you know, oh, that will work, that will work, that will work.
Thank you so much for your wisdom. Where can our listeners connect with you online?
So thereseskelly.com is my website. And I'm pretty active on Facebook. So just check me out, Therese Skelly on Facebook. I post a lot of stuff there.
Yes, and I will make sure to spell that in the show notes. Thank you again for being with us today.
It was great to connect with you. Thank you, Lucy.
To all the beautiful souls listening, thank you for joining me on this episode of The Lucy Liu Show. When I'm not podcasting, I am coaching high-achieving women in life transitions, getting unstuck, kissing overwhelm goodbye, and living a more joyful and fulfilled life through strategic goal setting and mindset transformation. It would mean the world to me if you subscribe, rate, or share this with a friend. And don't forget to join me for the next episode. Remember, there is always a way and more blessings are coming your way. For free resources and show notes, head over to lucylucoaching.com.